Hello there, welcome to another episode of World of Tanks from Gainy Titan, and this week I think it's going to be mostly kind of highlights of the German Dream Machine quest, road to the German Dream Machines I suppose, or at least I would hope. This would be the Thursday-Friday highlights, that is the Thursday and Friday of last week. You're seeing this on the Tuesday. The games were recorded, or this game was recorded on the 9th and 10th, and this is one of the highlights of it. There are a couple of games that actually qualify as highlights. There's two of them in the Craft Panther, one of them in the captured KV1, and one I think in the E25. But I've chosen to show one of the Craft Panther ones, the one here on the Ardennes. The Ardennes can be difficult enough for the tank to the Craft Panther for a player like me, because I've no real business going to the town. That kind of corner fighting with a tank like this I'm not particularly good at. I need a bit more armour, or at least something to absorb the damage while I'm trading, because trading is what I'm more likely to do. The idea of being able to not get hit in close quarter fighting is not something I really mastered. So I was going around the periphery hoping that I'd pick up some opportunities to get flanking fire or long range fire into an enemy target that wouldn't be in a position to run away from me, or at least in a position to go and hide for a while, so we could take advantage of the fairly rapid rate of fire and fairly accurate gun. Now the aim time is quite long, but the gun's accuracy actually is pretty respectable. So I came up here. I was kind of surprised that I got this far without being challenged, but once I'd crossed some of the ridges there around the F row, I was getting no sixth sense coming off, so I kind of knew that the enemy hadn't really pushed very hard on this side. Now we're going to get an opportunity to shoot this guy, just finish him off. I knew as soon as this guy pushed past that he was going to go around the corner straight into the heavy tank, and to hell with the consequences kind of thing, so I thought I would better go with him, because it's two of us will have a much better chance of achieving something on one. We'll be able to focus fire, there's only one tank there, and he's going to have to pick between the two targets, which is always a bit more difficult than you think it might be, and we're going to win the fight, because even if he concentrated on one target, he's not going to beat the two of us in terms of damage output. While we were doing that, we were joined by a third tank, so we have the makings of a little light medium tank mob, and tank mobs are very powerful critters. You should try and keep them going and keep them functioning for as long as possible, which means that you need to make yourself subservient to the other player, I suppose is the word. Not to go off on your own, but to follow them. The upside of it is, of course, that you get to focus fire on your enemies. There's only usually one or two of them there, so you're going to get to join in everybody, and everybody's going to be shooting at more or less the same target, so they're going to you're going to get rid of their hit points pretty fast, and they have very little chance of winning or even doing significant damage, because they have the problem of they're facing multiple opponents. They got to prioritize which opponent to tackle, and then they point their tank at that particular opponent, of course, and they lose a lot of their armoured advantages against other tanks. So they go down generally faster than the guys are shooting back at. Unfortunately, they can break up very easily as well, because what's happened here is it's effectively broken up already. The medium tank's gone off in a different direction, while I follow the light tank. So I'm going to stick to my decision to go with the light tank, because at least the two of us coordinating on one tank is still going to be a superior outcome than coming in on one. Now we are fortunate with the BDR G1B, sorry. Didn't pay us any attention at all, was focused on an entirely different target, and continued to be focused even as we were reducing his hit points to 0. Now we're down 2 tanks, things are not looking so great. And the enemy are capping, which is also a problem, because although it takes them about a minute to cap out, there's 3 of them there and they're at it. And there aren't that many of us nearby, and the light tank is racing ahead. He's getting out of my support range, and I thought this was the fastest way around. I wanted to keep him alive as long as possible, and a Tiger 1 sure enough comes charging out from the enemy cap, or the encounter cap zone. Determined to do in the light tank, and he ignores me completely. Like, I put a round into him, put a second round into him, set him on fire. He's still not turning his turret, he's still after the light tank, but he just gets destroyed by the fire before he gets a chance to do anything. The light tank, I think, gets a shot off at me, but the capture KV-1 gets a shot off at me. But the light tank, the AMX-12T, goes after our light tank as well, so I decided we're going to try and keep the light tank in the game for as long as possible. And I managed to finish off the AMX-12T. So we failed to keep the light tank in the game, but we did get rid of the enemy light tank, which kept the numbers down, and he was pretty mobile. He's the one tank that could escape from the rest of us. It really makes life difficult exploiting view range capabilities. We focused down the capture KV-1, and now all was left the enemy tanks at the hammer. And again, the advantage is very strong on our side, because the hammer is now, we're controlling the circle, he's pretty much outside the circle. And he's facing 3 enemy tanks from the front, even if one of them is a low tier tank. Now that netted me a top gun and quite a lot of damaging ribbons. And quite a lot of assisted ribbons as well, so we finish up 56,000 silver. First class mastery, a top gun. So we did 1800 damage, 6 destroyed, and not a lot of assisted damage. We didn't get much in the line of penetrations or tracking and various other things like that. As you can see, the AC4 experimental did pretty well for himself as well, with 3 kills and 1519 or 1600 experience. I think overall our team just did that bit more damage than the enemy, and this gave us the match at the end of the day. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a like and a share. Feel free to comment. If you've not already done so, subscribe, and I'll catch you all again soon. Bye for now.